Like all scales, melodic minor has its own unique sound, both harmonic and melodic, created by a series of intervals. The scale's sound can be encapsulated by hearing its two most defining tones played over a minor triad. If we compare melodic minor with two other commonly used minor scales, natural minor and harmonic minor, we can see that they all share the same interval sequence up to the 5th degree. It's the 6th and 7th degrees that distinguish these scales from one another. So it's the combination of the major 6th and major 7th interval formed around the minor triad that gives melodic minor its uniquely haunting minor sound. Start by exploring the scale across a single string against a minor chord track. For example, B melodic minor over B minor. Like other minor scales, melodic minor's tonic or root triad is minor, so it'll work over basic minor chords. Here I'm playing box patterns built around the familiar 5th and 6th string minor bar chord shapes. The scale's major 7th interval tells us it also connects to minor chords with a major 7th, also known as a minor major 7th chord. Composers typically make a choice between harmonic and melodic minor over minor major 7th chords, as both scales use a major 7th, and are therefore sometimes used interchangeably. But melodic minor's natural 6th is often favoured for its brighter contrast against the dark, tense major 7th. It's a good idea to train your ears to this distinction so you can make your tone choices more consciously and evoke the desired feeling. As well as minor major 7th chords, melodic minor also connects to chords that share other intervals from the scale. Some examples. In short, when the major 6th and/or major 7th are added to the minor triad, melodic minor is a good choice for accompaniment. We'll look more at connecting the scale to chords later. There are instances of a basic minor triad whereby melodic minor offers us some additional colour. For example, in minor keys, melodic minor could replace the standard natural minor scale over the tonic chord. In this A minor key example, I play A melodic minor over the A minor tonic and then change to A natural minor over the other chords. While natural and harmonic minor are almost always used on the tonic position of a key, melodic minor can also be positioned on other degrees to good effect. For example, in major keys, the 4 chord is often played as minor, which we can complement with melodic minor. For example, in C major, F minor would be our modified 4 chord, and therefore we'd switch from the C major scale to F melodic minor over F minor. We'll look more at using melodic minor over chord sequences shortly. Like other scales, melodic minor has a roadmap that can be broken up into various patterns. Here we have G melodic minor mapped out across the neck. From earlier, we can identify the two patterns built around the tonic minor chord shapes on the 6th and 5th strings. These are good initial reference positions. We can also divide up the large roadmap into 4 condensed box patterns, which, once memorized, can be used to link up different areas of the neck. When memorizing these patterns, it's useful to identify where the root positions fall within them to help connect them up and find your bearings. Some players prefer to divide up the neck into 3 notes per string patterns, which allow for wider sequential runs. Start by taking them 2 strings at a time and come up with a sequence you like the sound of. We'll look more at navigating these patterns in another part. You can find all these patterns on the lesson page. Within this roadmap, we can also visualize hexatonic patterns, repeating 6-tone sequences that omit a tone from the complete scale. In this example, the root is omitted, giving the scale a more outside sound. Again, think in terms of string pairings when navigating these. We can even form melodic minor flavoured pentatonic scales from the roadmap. Here I use the most important colour tones from the scale: 2, flat 3, 5, 6 and 7. Each of these pattern forms offer us different options for phrasing and sequential runs. However you choose to break up and navigate this roadmap, being aware of the defining tones in the scale and how they interact with the backing chord will help you to create the sound you want. Like the major scale and harmonic minor, melodic minor can be seen as the parent scale of 6 related modes that can be used over a variety of chord types. Each of these modes can be thought of as starting on a related degree of melodic minor, so they all use the same melodic minor roadmap, and therefore any of our melodic minor patterns and licks can be used to play these modes. For example, F Lydian dominant uses the same 7 notes and therefore the same roadmap as C melodic minor, as does B altered. All we need to do is position our melodic minor patterns appropriately to cover these modes. Some examples. Lydian dominant is the 4th mode of melodic minor, used over dominant 7th chords, and distinguished by its raised 4th degree. As it's the 4th mode, it starts on the 4th degree of its parent melodic minor scale. Therefore, to play C Lydian dominant, for example, we'd use a G melodic minor pattern. Here I'm playing over the mode's tonic chord, C7. Inversely, you could also see the melodic minor scale as starting on the 5th of Lydian dominant. Similarly, we could use a melodic minor pattern to play its 5th mode, Mixolydian flat 6, a more tense alternative to regular Mixolydian over dominant chords. As it's the 5th mode, it starts on the 5th degree of its parent melodic minor. Therefore, to play D Mixolydian flat 6, for example, we'd use a G melodic minor pattern. Here I'm playing it over D7. The 7th mode, commonly known as the altered scale, which is especially important in jazz music because of how it colours altered dominant chords. An easy way to remember where to position melodic minor for the altered scale is 1/2 step or fret up from the chord root you're playing over. Therefore, to play F sharp altered, for example, we'd use a G melodic minor pattern. Here I'm playing over F sharp 7 with a flat 13. Each of these three modes are viable options over dominant seventh chords, especially on the 5 position within a progression. We'll explore all these modes in more depth in their individual lessons. Finally, let's look at how harmony is formed from melodic minor, also known as scale harmonization. Like the major scale and harmonic minor, melodic minor forms 7 triads, each rooted on a degree of the scale. These can also be made into seventh chords. We established earlier that the tonic triad of the scale, that is the chord built on its first degree, is minor. Therefore, G minor would be the tonic or 1 chord of G melodic minor, for example. But we can also form more complex minor chords from melodic minor's tones. Here I'm playing some different minor-based forms from the scale on the tonic position. A common movement is to the 4 chord. In G melodic minor, that would be C major in its triad form, and C dominant 7 in its 7th form. But again, let's explore some additional colours on this 4 position, using the scale's tones. Let's try a simple movement between the 1 and 4 chords using melodic minor. This is a good initial movement to train your ears to, especially for those interested in jazz harmony. Now, focusing on the 7th chords from the scale, you'll notice we get a dominant 7th chord on both the 4 and 5 positions, and we can extend these to dominant 9th chords as demonstrated here. You're probably familiar with this relationship in a blues context. Therefore, melodic minor offers us a nice alternative to the standard minor pentatonic and blues scale over the 4 and 5 chords. As well as block chords, we can use our melodic minor roadmap to create flows of harmony that highlight the scale's unique colour. All I'm doing in this example is using the top 3 strings of our roadmap for a 3-part harmony over G minor. So when exploring scales, think about using the roadmap to create 2-part and 3-part harmonies, as well as single-part melodies. In summary, melodic minor gives us both a melodic and harmonic system for accompanying minor chords and keys, plus 3 related modes for use over dominant 7th chords. Start by getting familiar with melodic minor's sound and patterns over single chord tracks, which I provide on the lesson page. You can then start to explore it through compatible chord changes. For more help, including tabs, diagrams, and jam tracks, visit the lesson page linked in the description. Please also don't forget to like and share this video if it's helped. Cheers.